And we're back here on the show. So you see, Obama went to Mars. It's an open secret now.
Wow. Is there any such thing as an open secret? Isn't that kind of an oxymoron? An open secret. If it's open, how can it be a secret?
It's an open secret.
As opposed to a closed
I
secret.
don't know. Okay,
Okay, that may have been a dumb question, but
let's
just
get
saying.
let's get busy with our guests.
Okay.
Okay, because we have John and Liz joining us here at the table. Hi, guys.
Hello.
And they are the parents of Kyla and Jolise.
Yeah. And anyway, great to have you guys here.
Thank
you
you
guys
very
got
much.
great kids. They're so much fun.
They steal the show, yeah.
Yeah.
They do. They're so easy to interview. I wish everybody were that easy.
Thank you. We trained them well.
You
Yeah.
sure did. And I think they trained you well from what you were telling us.
Yes.
Yeah. So now today we're talking about JNLT photography. Now, but Kyla, John, described you as a naturalist. So I don't know how that kind of relates to the photography.
This is true. I'm a naturalist pretty much all my life. And I used to go out in the field, way out in the field, with stuff called Kodachrome. And it was very difficult stuff to work with, and I used to take lots and lots of pictures. And the equipment has changed, the technology has changed, everything has changed. My life used to be an expedition,
Hmm.
and then I got married.
Oh, and that changed everything.
Yeah, now my life is an odyssey. It's quite different. I still do a lot of photography. I still am a naturalist. I still get out and about, but now I take pictures of people, society, special events, things I never used to think about. And that's why my life is an odyssey now, because now this is a brand new dimension of living for me. So I have to thank my wife for this. She turned me into a social butterfly, so now we're fluttering along, and the photography changes, the technology changes. But really, it's all about focus and desire. That never changes, it grows. And that's really what I've discovered in myself. This is a type of personal growth that catches me by surprise on a daily basis.
Wow,
Yeah.
that's beautiful.
So, so was it like you were before you met Liz, you were less social, and out there in nature more and taking pictures in nature? Was that kind of
That's pretty much the story.
Yeah.
He was an introvert
yeah?
and wanted to be with nature and wildlife
Yeah.
more than with people.
Okay, there's nothing wrong with that.
No, there's nothing wrong with that. But then, how did you guys meet?
Well, that's a story.
Yeah.
How much time do you have?
You guys run into each other by accident?
Well, yes, we did.
Okay.
I'm from Regina, Saskatchewan, and Liz and her family emigrated to Canada.
From where?
Well, Liz comes from Chile, from Brazil, and so she's Chilean, she's Brazilian, and she's now Canadian as well. So her mother tongue is Spanish, Espanol, and she also knows Brazilian,
Portuguese.
Portuguese, Brasilado. Did I say that okay?
It's Brasileiro.
Oh,
Is that
Brasileiro.
Brazilian?
Yes, Brazilian
It's
Portuguese.
a Brazilian Portuguese,
Yes.
so it has a bit of an accent than the regular Portuguese from Portugal. So
And now she knows English, and she dabbles in French and Italian. Me, I'm still trying to learn English.
So where did you meet? In Regina?
In Regina, I was visiting pro shops. I was actually working one for a while. And actually, I was working in a pro shop when I met you. And her uncle owned a series of submarine shops. And the submarine shop and the pro shop I was working at the time were side by side. And I kind of noticed her, and she kind of noticed me. And she was always working with this big giant knife, you see. It was kind of intriguing. And she had this amazing accent. And she just...
That's considered quite exotic for us Canadians.
yes, very
Especially
exotic.
in Regina,
Yes.
I would think.
Yes. Yes, it was quite a meeting. And she ended up chasing me with the knife.
Well,
She
that's
ended
love
up-
at first sight.
Yes, I offended her, you see.
Wow, I guess you're
And
meant
she
to
ended
be.
up chasing me with this big stick. And she did not catch me.
Oh, yes, she did.
Yeah, actually,
I
well,
beg to differ.
yeah, she did. I survived.
Well, the whole story was I was telling him in my broken English that I wanted to have babies, but I didn't really like the marriage part. So how can I overcome that?
Wow.
And I think he understood things wrong. And said, well, I think I can help you with that. But before that, you were working for the Royal Saskatchewan Museum, and you were taking pictures of mushroom. And I couldn't understand why would somebody go to the park and take pictures of mushroom. I see people taking pictures of people and sceneries, but why mushrooms? And that intrigued me. And I asked him later on at the restaurant that I used to work at, were you the guy taking pictures of mushrooms? And he basically gave me the background of what he used to do, and he worked for the Peregrine Falcon Project, helping to release peregrines out of the roof of big buildings, the biggest building that there is in Regina. And he explained that I could go and take a look at those beautiful birds if I wanted to.
Wow.
You know, there's a peregrine falcon downtown Toronto,
Yes.
right? Near King and Yonge.
That's the beauty of the peregrine falcons. I started working with peregrines, releasing them as babies off of buildings. And when I was doing this work, it was very experimental. We didn't know if they'd come back and do this sort of thing on their own, and they did. They did it in a very big way. So now many cities all over the place have peregrine falcons, including Toronto. We have several in Toronto.
So why would we want them?
Well, this is actually a really good question. We want to introduce an exotic species that's endangered or considered in trouble to large populations of people. That was the original idea. And the idea of this is if people warm up, if society warms up to these beautiful creatures, they'll warm up to other, well, let's say ecological concerns, other endangered species that aren't so pretty to look at.
But is this natural for them? I mean, can they survive the harsh weather?
Nature is, we need to, nature is a really interesting word. I used to work at a nature center here in town, and I met a young student who was venturing off, career bound, and we were talking about this whole thing about nature, and we had the question come into the nature center a lot, almost on a daily basis, what is nature? And as soon as I said that, this brilliant student said to me, what isn't? And that's exactly where we're at. So it's natural for peregrine falcons to nest on any sort of a cliff. A building serves as a cliff.
Okay.
And it's natural for peregrine falcons to adapt. And we didn't know back then, we're talking about back in the 80s and 70s,
Adaptable.
how adaptable they really are. Yes,
Wow,
that's a
that's
great word.
amazing. That's
And
amazing.
we found out in a really big way. They taught us a lot. We had early indications from Quebec that peregrines were willing to try to live with us in big cities. And now they've done it in such a big way. It's such a beautiful thing. Anybody who wants to see peregrine falcons in this day and age can go on the internet, find out where the peregrine falcons are nearest you,
Wow.
get to know the people who are watching them, get to know the people. You can meet these people. They're out there with telescopes and binoculars, and they're kind of different.
Amazing.
And it's really amazing. You can they'll be more than happy to show you the peregrine falcons. They belong to all of us. And so you get to meet really fascinating people. You get to watch these really wild, incredible animals do what they do. And what they do here in the city is pretty much the same what they do on really wild, inaccessible cliffs, inaccessible to most of us.
Yeah.
So they hunt birds, and they have their own babies, they raise their babies, they interact, they do amazing things, and we get to watch them right here in our city.
Wow.
Well,
that's
so
amazing.
you being a naturalist is evident the way you talk about the
passion
falcons
is
and
there,
everything else.
absolutely.
It never leaves, thank goodness.
But Liz has gotten you to be a little bit more social, and I guess that has expressed itself in your photography. Now we've got some images. Right?
Yes.
Why don't we go through some of these images, and you can just tell us what these things are. We'll just go through them. I don't know, in whatever the easiest order is to bring them up.
Yeah, whatever pops up will be fine.
There you go.
This is great. This is a combination ferruginous hawk golden eagle nest. It was originally built, I assume, by ferruginous hawks. And this is really not as big as they actually get. They get much bigger than this.
Where was
That was in a place called Ravens Crag, and as the name suggests, it's way out there in the southwest Saskatchewan wilderness. It
Oh yeah.
gives you an idea how far I've gone back in the old
kinda
days.
look-
Was
yeah.
there any, sorry, was there anything in that when you were going? Like, were
That
there any
nest
birds in
was considered derelict, but really, at any time, a golden eagle pair or a Ferruginous hawk pair, or even a Swainson's hawk pair can come sit down and nest on there. And at the time, rock wrens were nesting in there, a family of 5. Beautiful little birds were nesting inside that giant nest.
there? So, did they do anything when you got that close?
The rock wrens,
Yeah.
they came out and they visited me.
Wow.
And some of them were too close for me because I had high power lenses with me. They were too close for me to focus on.
Wow.
But I did get a lot of pictures, but not with me and the birds.
Nice.
Okay, let's look at some of these other photos. What's the next one? Oh, there we go. What is
This,
that?
this is an adult female marsh hawk. We call them northern harriers.
You took that picture?
Yes. There's this skybound, and what she's doing, she's trying to chase me away from her nest. They nest on the ground, and they're kind of owl-like. It's a hawk that has owl-like features, and this bird can use its ears to find mice, rodents in tall hay and tall grass. And it has long legs, and the way it gets a mouse in tall grass is it kind of spirals. It locates it with its ears, and once it locates it, it doesn't necessarily have to see the target. It can maybe see a little bit of motion, and it'll spiral into the grass.
Oh my
And
God.
its long legs and long toes will reach into the grass and grab a little mouse. It's just
So
amazing,
the mouse
fantastic.
doesn't even know what hit it.
A lot of times, mice are kind of like that way. Their world is maybe 5 centimeters around them,
Wow.
and they're happily munching away on something.
Kind
and
of
all of a
like you,
sudden,
actually.
yes,
That's right. I'm happily munching away.
5 centimeters around.
Yeah.
No, I'm kidding.
pretty much.
No, it's true.
Actually, I think in 2014 we've extended that.
Okay. Let's look at the next one.
This is a urban peregrine falcon. This is an adult male, and a classic shot.
Oh
And
my
this
God, that is the cutest thing.
is one of the most famous at the time peregrine falcons in the world.
Is that the one in Toronto?
This is in Regina, Saskatchewan. This bird is called 3D. I never put names on birds. I just call them by the leg bands. Black-banded 3D. And it was a very exciting bird. It used to catch birds and eat them in front of large numbers of people in downtown Regina.
Okay, that would not be a fun thing.
Oh, it was fun.
Yeah,
a
not
lot
if
of
you were
fun.
the bird.
Well, everything has to eat. Everything. And
Not if we move to breatharian.
Are you a vegetarian?
vegetables are living things too,
Yeah, vegetables are living things too.
Hugh, you're going to become a breatharian.
I know.
And then we're not eating at all.
I have to smuggle Big Macs in late at night. Okay. Next one.
No, this is social
This would
butterfly.
be, yeah, this would be your wife's influence, right?
That looks
Yes.
Brazilian. Is that Brazilian?
Yes. Well,
Absolutely beautiful.
you want to maybe talk about Clara?
She is a belly dancer, and
Okay.
we use her as a model. We have a home studio, and we take models. We do makeovers. We work with a makeup artist, and we
You
do.
mean not your daughter?
Not yet.
Okay.
Not yet. So basically, that's what we have transformed our home into a home studio. So John still is able to do his wildlife, his nature thing, but we have also switched to commercial. So where we can do, like in this case, the belly dancer, and she was dancing for us while John was taking beautiful pictures.
Wow, that was a beautiful shot.
That's what we can do in our living room.
That's in your living room?
Yes. It's very deceptive. We change the background. It's some
How do you
Photoshop
change
involved.
the background? Oh, Photoshop?
Yes, but realistically, that is an amazing human being, and that's why, really, I say my life used to be an expedition, and now it's an odyssey. It's totally
Wow.
different. I'm discovering the human race. It's very, very deep and beautiful. And we're meeting some of the most beautiful people. I've met beautiful animals,
Yeah.
and now I'm just shocked. I'm stunned. Most of my life flew by me so fast, and I didn't realize how fantastic people are. So my wife woke me up to that.
Wow.
Thank you very much. I'm going to start crying in a moment or two.
Okay, that's great. Let's go
No
through the
tears
rest
here.
of these just to see what else is in the Odyssey. Who's that?
It looks like Flashdance.
This is a mobile setup of our studio. We can take our portable studio, fold it all up, throw it in the van, and drive anywhere. So this is, we were invited to attend a wedding, one of the greatest weddings I've ever been to, as a mobile photo booth. And this is some of the type of photography we get when we go on the road. So we
That's
set up, it takes us maybe 10 minutes to set up our stuff. We
Yeah.
bring our own lights and with a little bit of Photoshop magic.
That's probably the least typical wedding photo I've ever seen.
Again, we get to meet
Beautiful.
beautiful people on the road. It's just that amazing.
That's a beautiful silhouette.
Okay, let's see the next one.
It'll show you our lights. The technology today, as you can see in the studio around us, is so fantastic. We don't have to carry hot lights. You know, we can daylight balance where we go, and it's all cool. It's touchable. So we're not baking anybody who models for us. Again, this is a mobile photo booth, and this particular model, he's not really a model. He's not a paid model. He's not a
He's
professional.
just a guy.
He's a guy at a wedding, and he's an awesome-looking guy. He said, "Can we take a couple of extra photographs of you?" And it usually works out that way. And he was fascinated by our lights, and he couldn't believe that he could touch them.
Are you
And so-
using the LED lights or?
Yes, and as a matter of fact, we're using domestic LEDs. We're not buying the Photoshop, photo qualities. The domestic LEDs are much more affordable.
Yeah.
And especially on the road, anything that we take cameras that are really performance driven, and all our equipment is performance driven and semi-perishable. So on the road, something breaks, something cracks, a light breaks, anything like that, we're not facing a great catastrophic financial loss. But we're still delivering really high quality stuff. And we've gotten it down to a point if I could take somebody's domestic camera and I can shoot for them. And if they email me a low-res JPEG, I can upgrade it on Photoshop, and I can turn it into something that looks like it just came out of a very expensive camera. So nowadays we can do that. The technology is in everybody's hands.
Can you do it with something like a cell phone?
Yeah, well, you know, that particular one, I'll go for an what we call an iPhone look.
Okay.
And we get some very exciting photography done with that, with a piece of technology like that. It's still going to have that generates a mass appeal on its own. The iPhone look is a Facebook look, a social media ready. It's an instant gratification look. And right now, most of the world really looks forward to that, the image of it, and they appreciate it. So we can buy maybe $20,000 worth of DSLR equipment, and we can also carry something as simple as an iPhone, a phone, and take pictures that way, and we'll still get images that generate mass appeal.
Okay, let's look at some more.
Easy. Oh, this is one of my favorite all-time photographs, and I've taken literally millions of photographs. This is way up there.
That is good.
They were clowning on this. Can you pick out the groom? The groom is in there.
I'd say the groom is the one with the butterfly.
Well, he's actually the one with the parasol.
Oh, see, that was my.
Now,
I
this
see
is
my
one of the
instinct.
most amazing churches I've ever been to, one of the most amazing congregations I've ever met, and one of the most amazing bride and groom and bridal party I've ever met. These guys were hamming it up, clowning it up. I had to grab my DSLR, run over to a brick wall, and set everything up. I had, I think, less than 5 seconds to pull that shot off because they were just being spontaneous.
Let's look at it again, just
Yeah,
because
it's
it's.
worth
Now,
another
where was
look.
this church? Where is this church?
Do you remember what church name this is? I can't remember the. Sorry, I can't remember
Is it
the
in
name
Canada?
of the church.
Is
It's
it-
right here in Toronto.
Oh, it's in Toronto. Okay.
Yeah.
Just on the east side.
How long ago was this?
They went by that wall and they
That was just last
grabbed
November.
all of our
Oh.
photo booth stuff and they started clowning around. I saw it coming. I saw it building. I just got my camera together and wham!
So you just anticipate. You can just sense when a good photo's coming up. Oh, wait a
Yeah,
second.
this-
that's
you're kind of
what-
like the Wayne Gretzky
This comes
of hockey,
from
right? A photo.
this
You know,
comes from my background. It's really interesting that you said that because I had a CBC crew, CTV crew. We had radio crews. We had newspaper crews on a roof of a building in Regina, Saskatchewan. We had a very famous peregrine falcon come back from the Great Lakes. It was storm-bound, and it got returned to us, and it got checked out. And we decided to re-release the bird where it grew up, which was on this building in downtown Regina.
Makes sense.
So I took this bird. All it wants to do is go east and then go south. It wants to migrate a brand new bird to the world. Second time around, I went out in the building and I let it go. And really, I just held it and let it fly off my hand. And
Wow.
it went west. And I know these birds from experience. Anything that goes west is going to come back around east and vice versa, right? So there's an island on top of the building. All the news crews went west. But the one CBC reporter, she started to go to. She was getting everything. She had a couple of things on the roof, and she had her camera guy, and she was going to head west. But she caught a peek at me. I grabbed my camera. I went east, right? She looked at. I just saw the little glint in her eyes. Didn't even have time to communicate, right? We just kind of looked. She came with me. She got the most amazing footage of the
Wow.
bird coming back around. So that's a type of you know what's going to happen.
Yeah.
It might not work out that way, but yeah, it's going to work out that way.
That's what photographers do. Like, who's that famous French photographer that stuck wasn't even looking and he got some perfect shot? You know the one? I don't know.
I'm thinking of
forget his
Jean-Luc in Canada. He's a Canadian.
I think this is in Paris. I'm not
Oh,
sure.
okay. You know,
Well,
sorry.
Jean-Luc might be Parisien.
Do we have any more pictures? I don't know if we have any more, John.
There might be
But,
one or two. Oh, we do weddings in a very special way.
Oh, that's nice. I like that.
Yes, it's a beautiful bride. This was a really amazing. We weren't the principal photographers here. We were guests at this wedding, and this is kind of how I specialize sometimes. I'll sneak in the odd shot.
So you brought your camera.
Yeah.
Is there anywhere you don't bring your camera?
To
the bedroom?
I have it here. I have a permanently arched shoulder. I have chiropractors shaking their heads at me every time they see me.
Wow.
It's part of my life, and I've taken a lot of heat for it over the years, but I take it everywhere. I find when I don't take it, it's kind of a bittersweet thing. I'll see things that I'll never see
So
my
you'll
whole life,
regret it.
but
So
I'll
he-
never have a camera to get
Yeah.
that, so it's
I
kind of
call it
guaranteed.
his third arm. Somehow in the delivery room, he was cutting the umbilical cord, holding my hand, and taking pictures of the baby.
Unbelievable.
So my question is, so you do weddings, and you've done so many other kinds of things. Like, I'm just curious, the business, J and LT photography, like what kind of clients, would really benefit from the kind of work that you guys do?
We specialize in budget conscious clients. We avail ourselves within a client's budget. We do that a lot, and we also do a lot of multi-level promotional events as well. So we like to do. As a matter of fact, we love to do work where the client gets promo out of it and we get promo out of it. If our client's happy, we're happy, and everybody looks good. And so it's really this type of photography. It's very demanding in a very special way. It's not mainstream demanding. It's demanding in a very creative sense, and that's another part of the odyssey I'm on. I continue to learn things about photography I've never ever thought I'd go out and pursue as an interest. It comes my way. It comes as a challenge, and when a challenge comes my way, you never know how you're going to react, and usually, 90% of the time, I'm going to say, I want to know how to do this, or I want to be able to do this, so I jump into it. So Liz has turned me into a social butterfly, and that's something. I was a wildlife guy all my life.
Well, there are some pretty wild humans out there.
Yes, you said it.
You could consider yourself
Exactly.
still a
It's
wildlife
a whole
guy.
new, different type of wilderness. It's beautiful. It's fantastic. It's more diverse. It's more exciting and intriguing than I ever could have imagined.
Maybe it's not so dangerous.
Well, there has its dangers. It's a different kind of danger. The danger is in social media. There's a lot of danger there, and in simple things like keeping. Well, actually, the danger is sometimes in the form of computer viruses and stuff like that.
Okay,
So
yeah.
it's a whole new kind of
Cyber danger.
The danger's always there, always there. It just wears a different mask, I guess, a different robber's mask.
But to answer your question, we are open for weddings, makeovers, people that are looking to have the business cards done. And then John does still the wildlife part, which he does a lot of libraries, a lot of schools that are looking for having their a presenter talk about nature. So we have the two sides. JNLT.com is where people can reach us, and also Nature Nova, which is
Nature Nova?
Nature Nova.
Dot
.ca.
.ca. NatureNova.ca. Okay,
Yeah,
great.
or Nature Nova, all one word, on Facebook. Now that she mentioned that, in the Nature Nova aspect, we invest very little into advertising. What I found is when I do a school show, a library show, all these multimedia presentations I do, they're very deceptive in what they can generate. People notice me at a show, and maybe 2 years might go by, and I'll get a gig out of that. And it's amazing how it kind of goes around. And so it's a very interesting sort of grassroots kind of thing, and it's wonderful because it keeps us. It never lets us really bog ourselves down. We're always out and about, and we love being out and about. So I've discovered I could be out and about in the wilderness, or I could be out and about in the city. And,
Never gets boring.
Yeah, it never gets boring. It's always something new. It's always something fantastic.
Well, thanks, guys, for coming in today. So JNLT.com and NatureNova.ca. And I think you make a good point, John, when you talk about, you got the camera, you want to have it with you all the time because you never know what might present itself right in front of you. And I got a video that kind of punctuates that point because
What a good segue, Hugh.
somebody was at Burger King and they saw an alien and they got a video of it. And we've got it right here.
Oh, it just happened to be during the
Proof.
drive-through as you're going through the drive-through.
Yeah.
Was it a spaceship
So
going through
thanks,
the
guys.
drive-through?
Thank
You're
you.
going to see it right now.